This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
Recently from NFL Network in regards to like this.
I don't even know where this is going, but I'm not sure I like this.
You probably won't. But in terms of the disconnect between you and Chip Kelly, how the offense should have been operating when he was here, do you have any comment on those reports about that?
No, I don't know about the reports. I know who I sounded like right there. I don't know about what you're talking about, other than there was some clamor because I said something that came out because it wasn't accurate. And that's Chip's a tremendous football coach, and we got along great and communicated well and all that. We just needed to make a change.
You said you're doing a right guard yet?
No, we'll get to practice these next couple of days. We'll see what happens. But we're working at it, and we're open to how the competition plays itself out.
I know. In the summer, over the summertime, you mentioned how you're not afraid to play young players. But I was wondering, as over the course of the season, kind of like what's been the challenge for them to get, I would say, more consistent reps? Is it more like the learning curve been a little bit steeper than you guys anticipated with some of these guys? Just what's been that challenge?
No, it's up to the competition at the spots, and who they're trying to kind of remove from the playtime or gain some playtime on. And it just depends on what's happening. And not everybody. It's not a wholesale idea. It's an opportunity to compete, to find your way on a field, and we want to be wide open to it, which we are. And then they got to earn it. And so that's basically what it is. And some guys come along faster than others, or other guys maybe play better at their spots because they feel the pressure of it, which is kind of the whole idea.
What have you seen from Alex Kappa now that he got a little bit more burn at the center spot?
He handled it really well for the few times that he's been able to play the spot in his past. This was like starting over kind of, but he had, because of his background, his experience, his wherewithal, his ability to communicate. He helped us, and so he did a nice job.
The practice week going on this week, is the chance Meredith might be able to work his way back, or?
We're going to see how he does. We're going to let him practice, and we'll see how it goes. So we're hopeful that he'll get to return.
There's an analytics site out there that ranks you guys as the best in terms of fourth down decision making, whether to go for it, punt, et cetera, et cetera. Has that evolved in terms of the decision making, what goes into it, the analytics of it all?
Yes, it has. It definitely has over the years, and it helps to have somebody that has a good feel for that. Nate's really good at doing that, and he handles that in connection with the coaches. They're involved in it, but yet they don't have the say. And but we take their input when we can. But that's how we work it out, and we feel pretty clean. I didn't know where we were, but I know we're very comfortable with the process and the situations. We've been through a million of them.
How much of that is predetermined? In terms of if we come across this situation, this is what we're going to do, as opposed to going by your gut when it's
it's how much you say. Well, it depends. We try to get through everything we can think of, and when we can predetermine how we would go, then it's a matter of when the opportunity arises, you capture what the thinking is, and then you go ahead and make the call. And there is some gut situations in here, and for years and years and years, that's how I did it. I did it right from the gut, and now we have a nice group, a nice connection. Ryan Pagnetti helps us in a big way as well, and so I feel like we're really well prepared, and whatever happens, we feel pretty confident about making the choices.
Brock Wayne had 4 targets on Sunday, and I think that's like the second fewest in a game in his career. I was just wondering what led to that. Is that just more of like Geno Smith not having enough time due to being under duress for most of the game? Kind of like what led to the?
There is a few variables in there, in some of the way they played him, and we're always looking for him. Always, we love the way he plays and the plays that he can make. So it's never like we're holding off to throw to somebody else. That's not the way this works, but. Some of it was pressure, and some of it was things that they did. They really committed hard, and it worked out for them better than for us. We would like him to get close to 10 targets a game, and somewhere in there and more. We'll take whatever we can get. He was easily looked at with the thought of targeting maybe a dozen times in the game. So it just didn't work out.
Where does that catch rank for you that he made?
Well, it's a very unique catch. You think about all the great catches that we've seen. So unique that he would catch it off the top of the turf. I thought it was one of the really excellent catches I've seen. And it's because you never see anybody do it like that. Made it special even more so.
You guys run zone at the highest rate in the league. I'm just curious, philosophically, what is it that you like about zone, and how can it make life tough on a quarterback?
It's mixing your looks as much as you can. Keep changing up so that you can fit guys in different ways. We do a variety of things to do that, and it's just kind of the pattern that we have been really successful at for a long time, and so we like it. But that doesn't mean we don't like playing man to man. We've worked really hard with our corners and our nickels to make sure that they can hold up, and we feel confident in them. I think there's always reason you could do a little bit more man to man stuff, but. And we need to get a third down defense in order, and that will call for us to play more aggressively.
The reason I asked that question is because Bo Nix struggles against zone, and I'm just curious how you guys feel.
Yeah, we need to play a lot more man-to-man this week.
Greedy bounced up from the practice squad. What has he been showing you guys?
I would think that every time you ask me about Greedy, I feel so positive about his ability. He's got a real knack about making plays, and he's got great confidence. That is what the players have that are willing to take the chances. He's got that, and he's a really good tackler, for a smaller guy. And he's just been obviously a guy who could make a play. And we've seen it all through camp and in the off season and all of that. So I'm glad that he's one of the guys that's benefiting from the time on task, and we like what he does.
You anticipate Michael Mayer being able to practice this?
We have to wait. It's day to day. We have to wait and see.
Despite the difference in records, you guys played them very tough up in Denver. Does that give you any confidence heading into getting them back here in Vegas now?
It was a really good game, on both sides. Both teams played really tough and played right down to the nub. There was a lot of really good field position things that happened. AJ had a great game. Defense played really well when we had them backed up and got off the field and did some great things there. They had some penalties too in the game. That I'm sure they're going to try to avoid. But it gave us a real shot to play a nose-to-nose defensive ball game, come right down to the last possession. And so we do understand that. We have a lot of respect for their team. Their team has done some remarkable things this year. They've had remarkable games, comebacks and finishes and all of that kind of thing that we really respect. So we know we're up against a really tough opponent, but yet we did match up all right. And so we're looking forward to see if we can take the next step.
I know you mentioned that you were hopeful in terms of Colton Miller returning at some point during the final stretch of the season. Given where you guys are at standings wise, does that impact kind of your decision whether
it doesn't impact mine, no. And the trainers are pushing him as much as they can. He's working as hard as he can to get back, and we'll see what the time frame is. It really doesn't have anything to do with the other aspect of it. Just trying to get him out there.
What makes Nick McDaniel so hard to handle on defense?
Oh, man.
Considering how they use him.
He's explosive. He's really slippery. He's a really good all-around athlete. He's got all the kind of the knack, physically to slip you in, to avoid you, and to race right on past the tackles. And he has a great motor. He really goes. So those guys that like when we see Max play, he plays at such a high level that if a guy just makes a false step or just doesn't quite get off in the cadence, like on Max's sack last week, they take full advantage of it. And so Nick's doing all of that, and he's having a terrific year. He's got 50-something pressures or close to 50 pressures, whatever it is. It's amazing.
That's good.
You reportedly gave guidance to Lane Kiffin when his decision to go from Ole Miss to LSU. What was your thoughts on him moving on and taking a new challenge?
You think I'd answer that? I ain't answering that. Really, in all respect to the question. I don't have any opinion that I'm going to let out about what he did. I just talked to him the way I knew him. I've known him just about his whole life. So that was just being there for him.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Thanks. That was off the record.
You've been watching Breaking News from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.